evening, everyone. KOP TALK TV, live on FTV Sports, and we are joined by Potsy, Kelly, Stoney, and James from TTM Sports.
How are we doing?
How's everyone doing?
Good.
Not too bad. High after last week, definitely.
I was so upset I missed the after-match reaction show, but I'm definitely doing this week. So growing up Burnley, I'm going to be here. Good. Some songs. All right, so what we're going to talk about tonight, boys, is our midfield options. I know everyone's saying that we want to buy a new midfielder, but I think we need to take a look at what we've got. So yeah, got 10 players that are potential for being in midfield. Obviously, Henderson, Fabinho, and Thiago, they're the main three. And then we've got Milner. So they're kind of like the four solid long-term players that we've been using. So, Stoney, I'm going to come to you. We're having a little chat about Milner.
Yeah, we were.
What do you think of Milner?
Just before we came on show as well, I think thanks and good evening to everybody that's tuned into KOP TALK for this evening session. Yeah, we were speaking about Milner. We were speaking about how well he's actually conditioned himself. I think, was he 16 when he broke for Leeds? If you think of the fact that he's conditioned himself at Leeds, Newcastle, Man City, and at Liverpool, he's an absolute machine. I know he's not playing at an international level at the moment, but the fact that he's still able to perform at the level he has, I think is still amazing. Even if you look at the pre-season games without Fabinho playing, he was playing in CDM for us, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So I don't think he's going to want anybody to take his position lately this season. So he's had a good start, and I'm sure we're going to see a wonderful season from Milner there as well. One of the other things on Milner as well.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
No, I was saying he's definitely an all-rounder. If someone's injured, we could just slide him in anywhere. You know, he's professional.
Yeah, definitely. I know there was one of the other channels that takes place on the radio. I won't bother name the other channel, but Troy Deeney was speaking on there at the end of last season, and he was speaking behind the scenes about how much other professionals actually look up to Milner as well, in terms of him being a role model, how he conditions and looks after himself as well. So it's clear that other players at other clubs obviously help hold him in high esteem as well. So he's one of our midfield 10 that we'll speak about today.
Yeah, Stoney, it's no wonder that all international managers that he's ever played for always played Milner. When I was growing up, you had the 2010 World Cup as a prime example in South Africa. The England team was let's say, difficultly average. James Milner was selected every game. I was one of those people back then going, why is he in the team? What's he doing? This guy is absolutely useless. He's as useless as water on oil. He's an absolute disgrace. And then when he signed for Liverpool, eating humble pie, I'm still licking around the edges of the bowl. He is excellent. What a wonderful signing he has been.
Yeah,
I think to be fair, a lot of the Muslim players that talk about not drinking alcohol and keeping themselves lean and healthy and professional, Cristiano Ronaldo, a lot of their health and the way they train is bigged up. But Milner's been doing that for years. You know, he's doing that.
And I think if I was his agent, I'd be striking up a deal with Ribena.
No doubt.
He regrets that comment, doesn't he? He regrets that comment.
Yeah, I think he loves it, and his Yorkshire tea. KOP Kelly, I'm going to come to you now. Henderson. Yeah. So obviously he's our captain, but he has suffered with injury problems. He's actually the only player from when Klopp took over that has actually managed to keep his position, which shows how hard and how much he's had to fight to stay in this squad. So what do you think is going to happen with him this season?
I think he's very close to signing a new contract. I know there was a lot of talk about whether he's going to sign or not, or whether he's going to go to an unnamed club, whether he'll leave or not. I think if he left, it'll be an absolute travesty, because I think Stevie G, he is the best captain that we've had for many, many years. I think the influence that comes from him goes throughout the whole team. And I think him and James Milner, one of the very few players that Klopp actually talks to and
trusts in, I think,
and takes advice from them. So I think holding on to him would be an absolute must. I don't know whether he's going to get 100% back from his injury, but I think he'll probably start every game alongside Fab.
But he'll work fucking hard to get back from that injury, won't he? Yeah. What do you think, Potsy, on Henderson? Is it just us being emotional to think that we want to keep him on in that space? Because I think a lot of the contract issues has been with him guaranteeing first team spot, not necessarily us wanting to sell him, but just him wanting to make sure he's front and center. I think that's what's been stalling the contract.
I mean, the thing with Hendo is that there's been a lot of questions about him ever since he signed for Liverpool. I live in the Northeast and went to a few Sunderland games when he was playing there. And so when we signed him, I probably was one of the few Liverpool fans who were really excited about the fact that we'd actually got Jordan Henderson. And ever since he's been here, obviously we know under Brendan Rodgers, he was almost passed on to Fulham or Stoke. He then obviously took over the captain's armband, where, let's be honest, a lot of fans were not happy about that. Him taking over Steven Gerrard. And then when Klopp came in, a lot of people weren't happy at the fact that Henderson was starting under Klopp. So the fact that Henderson has shown, especially over the last few years, what an inspirational leader he is, both on the pitch and outside it. It just shows that Klopp was right to put his faith in him. And we're now being able to reap the rewards of that, because when he is fit, he is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated footballers out there. He just absolutely can run a game. His passing range is Alonso-like. He's, again, just a fantastic leader. So I don't see it as us being emotional just because he's our captain. I think Henderson continues every day to fight for his place in that team. He knows that he's not a guaranteed starter, but I think that contract, hopefully to get him to a point where he ends his career with us, is just reward for the fantastic player that he is.
Like you said, him and Milner, they're very similar. They might not have the skills, the fancy skills, but what they put in effort and training and performance, just being professional on the pitch. Klopp shows that he trusts that. So that just shows. James, I'm going to come to you with Thiago.
Yeah, Thiago. Look, if you would have come up to me 18 months ago and said, you're going to be signing Thiago Alcantara, I would have said, what are FSG smoking? How much is that going to cost us? Look, 28 million or 20 million, was it? Yeah, money well spent, in my opinion. Yes, he's had his injury issues. And yes, he was played out of position in a massively imbalanced Liverpool team. Let's not forget that. And it's true. There's people all around this nation that are saying all Liverpool fans are doing is blaming an injury to Virgil van Dijk. Well, quite clearly, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't have a brain cell, really. You need to understand football, that it wasn't just the injury to Van Dijk. I'm pretty sure it was the 17 different centre-back partnerships upsetting the balance of the team. Thiago then was thrust into that central defensive midfield role, something he's not really, it's not his game. However, I think he, a solid 6 out of 10. He held his own. But did you notice?
He missed a lot as well, didn't he? I think he missed 23 games.
Yeah, he had COVID as well. Did you notice the last 10 games of the season when Liverpool, with Arsenal and Leeds United, the form teams of the Premier League, may I add, he was pushed back up into a more favourable attacking midfield position, and I think he started to play. I think he'll be fine. A lot of people are saying, who's the Wijnaldum replacement? Well, I said to my co-host on TTM Sports when we signed him, I said, that's Wijnaldum's replacement. I'll tell you that now. I'm not going to sit here and preach to you all that I saw a crystal ball, but I think it's no wonder we haven't dived into the, into the massive fishbowl of the transfer market. We've already got our KOP in the KOP. Yeah. He is Thiago. That's the replacement. And, I think he'll do very well this season, really, really well indeed.
All right. I'm going to go on to Fabinho now. And I'm going to go to Stoney first, but then Potsy, you've got some interesting you wanted to add on to that. So Fab, Stoney, what can we say about him that isn't already been said?
Yeah, I think it's one of those with Fabinho as well. He's obviously shown his level of quality as well. I think for him as well, we brought him into playing central midfield. He's played at centre back for us this season. His previous club, he was even playing right back a couple of games there as well. He's Mr. Consistent. So I think we've got a player that I don't envisage us having the level of injuries we had last season. So if he's fit, I believe that he starts. I believe he's one of the first names on the team sheet as well. And I said he's Mr. Consistent. So still feel privileged that he's there. And let's just see him play in his preferred role.
It's definitely like Alisson, Virgil, Fabinho. They're like the spine down the middle of that back line. And I feel like anyone you put in with those three be fine. And luckily we've got, Trent and Robbo that are just magic as well. And massive. We've got a nice bunch, but definitely Fab is key in his role. And I think once he was out where he should be, we didn't lose any games last season then. So
that's
it just
correct.
shows how important he is. Potsy, you got interesting take on that though.
For me, you mentioned that spine. Fabinho for me is the most important disc in that spine. Last season, the biggest loss we had, of course, obviously the centre backs and the imbalance in the defence, but the biggest loss we had during that time was Fab having to play centre back. Because we got absolutely run riot in the midfield. And it just shows how important he truly is to the team. Because for me, he is a great centre back as well. When he plays there, I remember him marking Lewandowski out of the game with the Bayern alongside Van Dijk, just absolutely marked him out the game. And then last season we saw him do well in that position, but obviously because we didn't have him at CDM, we'll come under a lot more pressure. For me, my biggest concern, I know a lot of people going into this season were like, oh, who are they going to replace Junior Ronaldo with? Well, my biggest concern is what happens if Fabinho gets a Van Dijk-like injury and we lose
Henderson,
him for the rest
isn't
of the
it?
season.
It'd be Henderson, wouldn't it? You
See, I don't.
Henderson.
This is the thing. We don't. In
I
my
don't
opinion,
think he can step up to that.
We don't have a number 6 in that sense. Like you look at Chelsea, for example, if Jorginho goes out, they can just put Conte back there. And I think Kovacic can also do a good job there for them. Man United, even Fred's not a great CDM, let's be honest. But if he goes out, they've got Matic.
I'm not going to say anything on Man United.
No, but what I'm saying is that teams
People
around
do
us,
have
they've
options.
got the options. Man City, of course, Rodri and Fernandinho. We don't have that backup number 6, and I think that if we are to bring in a midfielder, that should be our focus.
I guess looking at that, you could say, who if Fabinho was injured, who out of those would you think, right, they can fill his boots?
Well, I mean, in fairness, Henderson's played there a few times, and if we look at, I know that it's only pre-season. I know we can't really judge anything pre-season, but Milner's been playing there as well. So you're right. Hopefully, it's not a replacement
Milner
that we'll
just
need.
go anywhere, If they're all injured, we'll just sell Milner. Right, you're the left back, the defense, you're the attack. Just go and run around the pitch, Milner.
He's
just
the whole spine. Milner's the whole spine.
Yeah, he's like does what it says on the tin guy. Okay, so let me just go to some comments quick. Sorry, we're getting into talking. Oh, let me get rid of that first to see everybody's lovely face, apart from mine. Okay, who have we got? Mr. B, my favorite Man United agenda panelist. Cop Kelly and Stoney representing Park Lane Primary. Yeah,
that's so true.
That's so true.
So these two are friends, long-time friends, weren't you?
Very, very long-time friends, James. Very long time.
It wasn't that long ago, was it? No, come on.
Nah.
I'm keeping my lip.
Evening, Mr. B, an invisible lady. Yeah, I'm the invisible lady in amongst the boys tonight. Monday, another great panelist from the Man United agenda. Good evening. Yes. Great performance versus Norwich. You still got it? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. I was really impressed. I was so excited. I can't wait for Burnley now. James, this is the other half of TTM Sports. Henderson is a 5 years younger Milner, great professional, much like Eric Dyer. This is
Oh,
Spurs fan. I think he wants to marry.
wow.
He was going so well up until
Eric
that point.
Dyer.
Oh,
Oh my
But,
goodness.
yeah, the comparison for me with Milner and Henderson, you know, they both work hard, they both train hard, they both professional, focused. I really see that. Mr. B, no, on Monday it was Norwich, for fuck's sake. Yeah, all right, mate. All right, mate.
Well, according to most Manchester United fans, they won the league last weekend, didn't they?
Yeah.
So, you know.
Who did they
Wait,
play? A depleted Leeds, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it's okay. Look, Man United, you know, yeah, fantastic, wonderful season coming up for them. They've made really strong signings. I think they're a wonderful, great manager, wonderful stadium, wonderful fan base, not toxic in any way, shape, or form.
all
Yeah,
right.
yeah, brilliant.
what happened when relegation candidate Sheffield United turned up at Old Trafford last season?
Oh no, it was a VAR. It was nothing to do with Man
Oh,
United's
right.
inability
Okay.
to win the league for nearly a decade, and no one says
Right.
anything like they did to us. But you know, it's fine.
There's some new VAR rules and stuff coming into play. You know, I wanted to do a little show on that as well. It's quite interesting to do with the penalties and stuff and the lines being thicker. So I think that was there was a game on the weekend, wasn't there, that usually it would have been offside, but because of the new rules, they left
Fernandez's hat trick.
It was Bruno Fernandes at Man
Yeah,
United,
yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's Man
Yeah.
United
I
and an
like
officiating
that
decisions.
because-
It's fine.
Yeah, I felt like if that was my team, I'd want that decision to go that way. Yeah, Hendy, his character for sure. He's grown on me. Oh, he grows on all of us. Don't worry. True, Mr. B. Be interested to see if they can regain that 90-point mojo. Well, when did you last get 90
Wow.
points, guys?
It's a very good comment, though. He's I see what he's saying. It's to get into the mindset of getting those points hauls of a
Yeah.
couple of seasons ago. To be fair to him, Monday there is he's come up with a good comment. To be fair to him, yeah.
Well, it's that every game is a must win, you know, not having we can drop points here, drop points there. You know, we lost the title by losing one game before we won the Prem. That was heartbreaking. On Monday, I still have doubts over Thiago, great player, but don't know if he can hang in the Prem because of his age and his legs. I think time will
worry
tell
about
this season.
Well done. Yeah.
Nah, I'm putting it out
It's in
there.
there.
He is running
Once
the
you got
Premier
this,
League this
that's all that
season.
matters.
Yeah.
Potsy,
there's
what
a-
they're doing. Sorry to interrupt you very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Sorry. But what they're doing is they've seen he's rolled his socks down, so he looks like Jack Grealish, and it makes him look 38 years old, and that's all that is.
It's so
Sorry
funny.
for interrupting.
What were you
No.
gonna say, Potsy?
No, I'm just saying, like I've been saying it since pre-season. Thiago is going to run the Premier League. If we can keep him in his right position for the entirety of the Premier League, he is going to absolutely have every midfield on strings. Just remember last season when I think he did have to play at the base of the first United game at Anfield. He absolutely tore that midfield apart. And he was all right at Old Trafford as well. Like, and this again, him out of position, you know, he is probably our first in a long time, probably ever, in terms of a genuine world-class star that we signed. And he shows it. And this season, he's gonna run the league.
He just makes that whole midfield tick. That's what I love about him.
I think people forget he was injured for a long time. The same time Virgil got injured, he was injured. So when he did come back, not only was he coming back from injury, he was playing out of position in a team that were, you know, playing with 17 different centre-back pairings. We haven't seen Thiago yet. Last season we signed him. We haven't seen him yet. We haven't used him properly where he should be yet. So this is his time now. This is where you're going to see Thiago. Right, let's just do a few more comments and we'll get on to other things. Fabinho is a proper class player. I don't think anyone would turn down Fabinho first team. Yeah, even Mr. B, look, Fabinho always.
100%.
What have we got? Yeah, smash those likes. If you like what you're watching, guys, please like, share, subscribe, get involved in the comments. Bruno hat trick. Yeah, we know. We've seen his ball in the bar. He's so proud of that ball. Our players got medals and trophies, but yeah, he can keep his ball.
He's got his runners-up medal.
Yeah. We know you come in peace. We just enjoy the banter on Monday. It's fine.
No, absolutely. Man United are great.
Adam, this salt tastes so good. This is my admin husband. How can we be salty when we've won more recently than you? How is that salty? No salt to be had here. I would like to see Thiago with Fabinho.
They are amazing together.
That's a very good comment.
Amazing together.
Serious understanding, huh?
Yeah,
It's
that's going to
crazy.
be pure heaven.
Mm.
Because when they were playing together, wasn't Fabinho more doing centre back role, wasn't he then?
Yeah.
Well, it was like we got the rare games like at the last 10 where he
Yeah.
was able to go back into his role. The Leipzig game, the first game,
Yeah,
especially,
yeah.
those two were just absolutely phenomenal. And this, in a way, like could give Klopp more confidence to go for the 4-2-3-1,
Yeah.
having
Yeah.
Fab and Thiago as the two, because those two, the connection between those two is ridiculous. And obviously, he might look to employ that more often this season.
Even Fab likes to go forward, and he likes to pull out some. I shared
Yeah.
some clips of him from last season. He likes to. He can do some wicked assists as well and shoot
He's
some
got
bullets.
great passing range.
Yeah,
And he's one of the very few players that likes to shoot from outside the box as of late.
Just ask
Yeah.
Edison.
Yeah.
he's class. Yes, he is. One more comment, and then we're going to get onto them. Thiago ain't suited to Klopp's team. Game passes him by. We haven't seen him how Klopp wants him to play yet, so I don't believe we can say that at the moment. I think he is what Klopp probably wanted to proceed onto. So I think he knew what he wanted to do, but he just couldn't do it last season, which is so
Now, trust me,
frustrating.
like it's like I think Del Bosque said it about Sergio Busquets about Spain. It was like if you watch the game, you don't see Busquets. If you watch Busquets, you see the whole game, and that is Thiago to us. The game doesn't pass him by. Trust me, he runs that game.
Yeah. Right. Let's move on to some of these other ones then. So, talking about what are we saying? Shots outside the box. We have to go to Ox.
Yeah,
That's what
definitely.
he's saying. He said, "That's what I want to bring. I want to bring the shots outside the box." That was his, his promise to us. So he played Saturday. First half. Me and my friend Warren, we were a bit like, I was like, "What do you think of him so far?" And he was like, "Haven't really seen him do a lot, to be honest. Not really sure." What did you think of him, James?
I think he's trying too hard to impress Klopp. I think he's trying too hard. Look, go back to before he had that massive knee injury, catastrophic knee injury against Roma in the Champions League semi-final. This guy was the form player of the club. He had nailed in that central midfield slot, scored against Manchester City in the league, and most famously in the Champions League with a rocket of a shot that didn't look out of place at the NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory. I thought that Oxlade-Chamberlain, a wealth of talent. He's just got it. It's Keita 2.0. It's flashes of brilliant. It's Aquilani-esque, if you like. I think this guy could be fantastic. I thought the game at the weekend, look, I think he's just trying too hard to impress because he knows that these chances are going to become less and less and less as players come back to fitness. We've got now Thiago to come back. We've got Henderson to come back.
Yes.
However, there's still, it's like supporting England. When we used to perform poorly, you'd say to yourself, but I still believe. And it's the same with him and Keita. I still believe he can come good for us. I think it's a good squad option. And I think, you never know. Yeah, I think he's got to play week in, week out.
What do you think, Stoney, about having Ox?
Yeah, I just really, completely agree with everything James was just saying as well. And also I think with Ox, where he may benefit, hopefully this season as well. Remember, he can play in a number 8 role, or Klopp had already started in pre-season friendly. I know when they were trying to bring him back from injury, and he's actually done it as well this season. They're going to try and play him in the role where Bobby plays as well. So for Ox, there's variations in positions he'll be able to have an opportunity to for us to see the best for him. The age is still on his side, and as he said, it's unfortunate that his build and Naby Keita are just so similar. They've had these muscle injuries, and for various reasons, we haven't managed to see the best of either player. But 26, 27, both of them.
Yes, Stoney, I'm coming round to the idea of this false 9 for Oxlade-Chamberlain. His entire career, he's never been able to hold down a particular position. In his entire career, a victim of versatility, you may say. When you look at his game, how he jinks in and out, he can hold the ball up. He's very, very good at getting it, giving it away, can make things happen, can shoot from outside the box. Do you know what? The more I think about it, I would try him in that false 9 role. Why not? That could be a clever move. This is Klopp, remember?
He did it a few times last season.
Thank you.
Came on like last 10, 15 minutes of the game. And what I like about him is that he's more direct than Bobby in that role.
Yes.
He's not obviously not as talented as Bobby, but he is a lot more direct, which is great when, especially if we are pushing for, to get a goal at the end. And I'd much prefer to see him in that role because, if I'm honest, I don't think he can do the centre mid role anymore because of the injuries. I think they've taken a bit of a toll on him. In terms
Would you prefer him to Origi?
Sorry, we've got an interesting comment here from Nicholas. So he's usually on our KOP Talk. Hi, Nicholas. Having a break today. I think he's sorting his beard up. Ox was likely told to stick to a job, which he did. Wasn't flamboyant, and Ox played his part, which was necessary for that game. So he seems to think, talking about Saturday's game, he was told to do something and he did that. Which, I mean, talking about the false nine, a lot of time Bobby gets criticised. I guess he could also fall under that same criticism for people saying, well, what's he doing? But he may have, like you said, may have been doing what he was asked to do by Klopp.
I appreciate Nicholas's comment, but my personal opinion is that Oxlade-Chamberlain had a below par performance within that first match of the season.
Yeah.
I thought he looked a bit lost. I don't think he pressed.
Although I respect the comment 100%.
I don't think he closed. I think I just focused on him alone for about 10 minutes, and he didn't close anyone down. Elliot, everyone else was closing players down. Someone would have the ball and there'd be 3 of our players on them trying to win the ball back. And he just seems to be like looking around like starstruck, like, what do I do? What do I do? So maybe in time that will come.
Do you know what, James? I used to play. Not a very high level. I could hold my own in the Sunday leagues and the soccer sixes and that. And when you're a mid-table team and you come up against the top of the league and they just kick off and you have that first 5 minutes and you're thinking, oh my God, it's a bit overwhelming. It just had that little bit of he's trying to get the ball, take 3 players on and pass it. It just felt like he was trying to do too much. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, he just looked a bit lost.
Maybe he did just look a little bit. I've got another comment from Nicholas. Thiago doesn't have to run too much. His vision is what we wanted, and he's got that in abundance. Yeah,
absolutely right.
The defense will take care of itself now. They'll be just bringing the balls up towards them, and he can do what he does best with them, sticking them in. On Monday, it's a major advantage that you have an abundance of prime age players in their pomp. And players in tune with Klopp's philosophy. Well, he's like we said, Henderson is the only player that was in our team when Klopp joined.
Gomez as well.
Gomez
and Milner.
Yeah.
So those 3 then. I don't know where I saw that for. I saw that the other day. But pretty much the whole team he's scouted and he's brought in. So obviously it was his vision, and he's very selective with who he brings in, and their humbleness, doesn't want to have egos. They have to get along and respect even the dinner ladies as much as they do each other. I love that analogy. Did you see that in training once? He brought all of the kitchen staff, all the training staff, everybody that works in the training ground, every single one of them. He put them in a big circle on the pitch, and he said, everybody here you're no more important than anybody here. That lady that serves you dinner, that one that washes your clothes, like everyone makes you are the team.
Yeah, it's just a family, isn't it? One big happy family there, isn't it?
Yeah. He doesn't like egos. You're not any better than anyone else. If you sat on the bench, you're still part of the team,
Well, that's why Sacco was ushered out of the club. If we all remember, we had a pre-season trip to Alcatraz. He took over the camera, and you heard Klopp in the background say something along those lines. Okay, then right, good, let's carry on. So he's had his fun, but he kept going, and he kept knitting and nibbling away at him, and you could tell he just bombed him out and said, "Well, leave the club then, see ya," which sent out a massive statement of intent to the rest of the players in the club.
It was a very controversial moment, that was. And I think it was quite defining in Klopp's career, really.
To be fair, though, that really helped my health issues, because trying to watch Sacco try and run out with the ball at his feet is the scariest thing I've ever seen.
Next to Sissoko at the back was, we nearly won the league.
honestly, it's the scariest thing watching Sacco try and do that. So
like an ostrich runs.
It reminded me of Stefan Oncho.
Oh, I'm
He
sure.
was
What
quite
a legend.
exciting, but he made you nervous. But I quite like the drama. I don't know.
I didn't like it at Selhurst Park, Gems. I didn't like it. He had a Connor at the age of 23.
I've seen the light. I've seen the light.
Yeah, but
now I know.
You know how much of a nervous player he was, because when he used to pass the ball to another player, he used to high five himself. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
Well, self-confidence is one beautiful thing. Is he still at Palace?
Yeah.
He's still there.
I just don't think I've ever seen I don't think I ever saw him actually lose the ball, but I just never worked out how he never did. It's just it was
Jimmy Traore 2.0.
There was a lot of rumors about.
We've been to some places, guys.
There's a lot of rumors about like drugs and reason why he got kicked out and stuff. But I fully believe it's the ego. Klopp does not like an ego.
100%. I felt bad for him at the time because he got he got that drugs ban as he was I think he scored against Dortmund, then 2 weeks later scored against Everton, and then he got the drugs ban, which turned out to be false. And then
it was Villarreal, Potty. Yes, semi-final Villarreal. When
Villarreal,
Firmino did Roberto Soldado. Soldado was running for the ball as Firmino took it through his legs, and Soldado was thinking, "Am I going back down the M1, M4 back to Tottenham?" But we never saw him since, really, did we, Soldado?
This was us just coming into our Klopp's philosophy. I think from that it just kind of flew then, doesn't it? And
Sacco at the time was probably one of our best players, and Klopp's early days he was one of our best players. But that's that's exactly what James says though, in terms of making that statement when we all know as fans that Sacco had a big influence in Klopp's early time. You know, the fact he was willing to get him out of the club for his concerns around his attitudes just shows Klopp won't tolerate divas.
It's like when you have kids and you beat one of them for doing something and the rest think, all right, I'm not going to do that then. They all learn their lesson. Oh, shit, I better just shut my mouth now and sit down. Oh, gosh. Let me just check the comments again a minute. We've got any more in here? Nicholas, on Monday, it's important to have the players buying into the philosophy, otherwise it can't work. Absolutely. Yeah, that's what he's saying, he laid the law down. He was like, this is, I think he has interviews with them before they come, like, this is what we're doing, this is the way it's going to be. Yeah. And if you can see they're not on board, then they didn't come.
So why hasn't it worked with Shaqiri then? Why? I don't understand. Has he said
why hasn't it worked for Shaqiri at any big club in his career? Bayern Munich didn't happen.
Stoney can do this one.
No. Go ahead. You can go ahead with this one, James. Go ahead with this one, James.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, so look, for me, Shaqiri, he needs to be playing in a team, I would say, of someone like a Tottenham, of the level below Liverpool, and in all seriousness as well, Everton, Tottenham, Arsenal, a good club, but not quite Carlin at the moment. He needs to play week in, week out. It's never happened for him at Bayern Munich when they labelled him as the Swiss Messi. It never happened for him when he went to Inter Milan. We were interested in him then. He went to Stoke City, and lo and behold, player of the season, plays every week in, week out, performs exceedingly well, goes to Liverpool, the age-old things comes back out again. And I think there's something must have happened behind the scenes with Klopp. When it really comes to it, he plays him. And to be fair, when he plays for us, I think he's not doing too bad. I think he's okay. What's the issue? Well, I think the simple thing that we need to take away from here is that we just need to trust in the boss.
Yeah. And as you said, it's almost that level of consistency as well, because even when you see the games that Shaq's actually played for us, so we'll give an example. Last season, Shaq would have been playing for us. When he goes on to international, he's a completely different Shaqiri. It's like, why can we never, ever have the international Shaqiri playing for us the same way at Liverpool? So you're right. I'm not too sure what's missing. And as you know, it's like anything else. If he does move on, as long as we get the right fee for him, then I'm sure he'll move on with our blessing. But you're right. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. I mean, even if we go into this season, I think even in the role that he played for us in the number 8, I think even Harvey Elliott will give him a run for his money in that position at the moment. So it will be interesting.
The deal with Lyon is around 15 million.
It's
Yeah,
gone up now.
Okay.
Gems,
Okay.
the deal with but I did listen to the a different podcast that I won't name, close to the club and close to the
Yeah.
Echo. They were saying that the terms of the deal with Lyon was 15 million straight. So you look at it from 2 points. One, we've got a profit on the player. Good business, Michael Edwards and FSG again. Second point, though, the reason why it's stalling is apparently we've inquired about the availability of a certain player called Aouar. I don't know how to say his name.
I know.
A-O-U-R.
Yeah.
And I think we're trying to use Shaqiri in a possible make weight deal, but I don't think Lyon want to bite on that. But I think we're trying. But either way, 15 million cash, yeah, I'll probably take that. Or 10 million plus Shaqiri for an hour, and we sort out that central midfielder issue that we may have. Even better. So look, sorry to interrupt you. I apologize. Got excited.
No, it's fine. I mean, in regards to Shaq, you look at these guys, is there anybody, if he was in there and you were, mainly talking about this bottom line, let's face it, and you needed to change up the game.
Yeah.
If Shaq was involved in that lineup, would you pick him above any of them to change a game?
Yeah, Minimino.
Yeah, same.
Exactly the same.
I mean,
I'd pick him over the Ox, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think Shaqiri last season, when he was being put through the middle, what I liked about him is, especially during that terrible run at the start of the new year, is that he looked to be the player who was trying to actually make something happen. When we were trying to play patient and trying to find the little gaps, he was the player who was trying to play the quick passes. He was trying to curl it in from 25, 30 yards, which I like. I like a player who's actually willing to take that chance. And yeah, it didn't come off for him. But, he showed that intention to change things for us. And yeah, I think he has, at the moment, he has a bigger impact than the Ox and Minamino for us.
I do think at times he's been brought on into a game to try and change the game up, when it's kind of not going our way. We've got 10 minutes left. Let's make some changes. But I always think he's brought on when it's too late. He's not got enough time to make that change. If you're going to bring someone on to try and do that, you need to at least give them, 70 minutes, bring them on there, not, when he's got 10 minutes to try and prove himself. Bless him. He's under a lot of pressure sitting on that bench.
It's a tricky one. Is he too good? Does he have too much stature in the game to be part of a 23-man squad and be at position number 17? And you got to look at his agent, the things that are potentially they're thinking right now. You've got to think about the fact that, like as we said, when he played every match of a season for a club where he was a big fish in a small pond, he seemed to perform better. Likewise in Switzerland as well. He is a big fish in a little pool of players. Let's be honest, without being disrespectful to Switzerland, he is a big player for them and they look up to him and rely on him. But when he plays for Liverpool, I find it's the reverse. He isn't a big fish in a small pond. He's a tadpole in an ocean. If you see what the analogy.
Yeah, absolutely. I found it funny. Can you remember, Stoney? We were talking about him a few shows ago.
Yeah.
And we were saying how good he was in the Euros. And Artist said, we're the ones that pay his fucking wages.
It's true.
He's
brilliant.
He's a completely different player.
Yeah, it's like the pride. And he's like proud to play for Liverpool, or as proud as other players are necessarily.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on now. So I'm going to take it to Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott. They're the two young ones in that lineup. Obviously, Elliott more so. Let's start with Jones. Who wants to kick off with Jones?
I mean, Kelly, you take this one, mate.
No, that's okay.
No, I was just going to say, because obviously we're having a chat about Jones like before we kicked off the show, and I'm going to be honest, like I'm one of these fans who want to see him get a chance this season. Like a lot of people's concerns this year is the replacement for Gini Wijnaldum. And I honestly think, given the time and given games and with the right coaching, Jones can take that role. He is fantastic with the ball at his feet when he is getting closed down. He's got quick thinking. He's quite agile for his size. And I honestly believe that he can develop into a sort of player who can do that. Now, maybe a loan spell with the midfield options that we've got may be the best thing for him to get that game time under his belt. But I personally would stick with Curtis Jones as an option for us. And I think he can be trained to do the Genie role for us.
What do you think, Cop Kelly?
I think Potsy, that is a really good shout. I think technically he's not as gifted as Harvey Elliott is. I'm going to put it out there to you guys. I haven't seen a ball player since maybe Steve McManaman days that is comfortable on the ball as Harvey Elliott is. He excites me every single time I see that boy play. I get up on my feet and think, this is what we've been missing for such a long time.
Where does he fit in, Kop Kelly? I mean, to me, I don't think he's a replacement for Genie because he may not have. I get it, Potsy, I get it. But for me, Genie Wijnaldum could be trusted at central defensive midfield with time and coaching. Only time will tell. For me, he was more of a replacement for the outgoing Adam Lallana. I think he's more suited to his sort of game. So wonderfully technically gifted on the ball, local lad, good player. I think he's got to stay around the club, but I struggle to feel. I see what you're saying, Potsy. Half of me thinks to myself, well, look, yeah, he could be brought back in more centrally, but then the other half of me thinks, but then again, can he be the Coutinho, Lallana, and begin to pick apart and prod and find that pass? It's a very tricky balancing act, and I'm really interested to see how he develops.
My thing with that is I don't think he's brave enough with the passes. Like there was a few times where we were breaking out. Exactly, yet. So, you're right. That could be the direction turning into a Lallana or Coutinho. But right now, like a few times we were breaking out last season and you could see the run on for Mane or Salah and he's on the ball. And he doesn't try and split the defense. I don't know if it's because of Klopp's tactics or if he just doesn't have that confidence yet. So that's why I see him more as the Genie role. But I get what you're saying, that he does have that potential to do. And Harvey Elliott, on your point, Kelly, I absolutely love this kid. I see him playing a different role to Curtis Jones, and I'll love to see at some point in the future those two in the midfield together. Obviously, if we lose Shaqiri, then I expect Elliott to be more a backup for Salah this season. With a few games in the middle as well when we need them. But yeah, I would love to see both of them at some point in the future in the midfield together.
Personally, I love Curtis Jones, and I think this will be his season where he's going to fight for his spot. He's going to show us what he's about. I think it's quite harsh to judge him on last season. Obviously, I think it's harsh to judge any player on last season. It wasn't
good for England.
I like Curtis. I think he's a baller.
Yep.
I was going to go to some comments in a minute because they're building up. Sorry, guys. We have to make them feel included. Mr. B, do you think 8 midfielders is actually too many? There's 10 actually, Mr. B, to find the perfect 3.
No.
Well,
it's injury, isn't it?
Exactly. Like our backups are more injury prone than our first choice. So really it's sort of counterproductive having the backups in a way. So we need as many midfielders as we can because we're going to have 3 or 4 of those lads out for good periods of the season.
It makes you nervous as well, trying to watch those guys play. Jeez.
Yeah. Plus Henderson is also injury prone, which is not really highlighted a lot. So I don't think it's too much. I really don't. Rotation and all that.
Yeah, and I think, as you said, with all of the competitions that we'll be in as well, I think there'll be more than enough opportunities for there to be rotations and enough of those players to actually get game time. So I'd prefer to be in this position where we have this volume of midfielders than where we were with all of the injuries and a depleted squad. So
you look at Man City, like how have we got too many midfielders? You look at City and Chelsea, all these big clubs. That's what you need. You need a good, strong bench. And I think having this many midfielders, it gives us the options to play a different way. If we're playing a game and it's not working, we've got more options now to say, all right, let's switch 2 of these out. Change up the tactics.
Why are the Manchester clubs allowed to spend £60 million on squad players then, and no one bats an eyelid? We spend £35 million on a midfielder. The microscope's out. Why is that?
Well, they got Van de Ven. He didn't even get a game even the other day. Let's see if he actually gets off the bench this season as well. Next comment. Sorry. On Monday. Oh, he's answering Nicholas for sure. Includes a prescription of special vitamins. Laugh out loud. Trent and Salah looking pumped. Yeah, he thinks they get some special German medicine apparently. Mr. B, I don't think so. Playing on 4, possibly 5 competitions. Yeah, absolutely, Nicholas. Rotation is everything.
100%.
Salah's always looked ripped. Always. Now more than ever. Klopp was shrewd with Sacco. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, so good money.
that's what I like with
Yeah.
Klopp. He doesn't let anybody get bigger than him. Like, he's the boss. Everyone knows he's the boss, but in a nice way. They all respect him. Gemma, whoops. I don't know what are you whoopsing at me for? Big player mentality, arrogance. Yeah, I think that was probably Saka's downfall ultimately. Little Shaq seems content at his age to chill. To me, lacks something, should be wanting to play first team footy. Yeah, definitely. We have this thing, don't we? If you don't put maximum effort in training, you don't get a spot.
Yeah, Alex Ferguson did that. And, you know, as much as I hate Man United, because I do, but he's a class manager and you have to respect it.
Yep, absolutely.
What else we got? Adam. Oh my gosh. Did Curtis give you any words of advice? So yeah, I was ill last week and I shouldn't have even told Adam this. I had a dream. I woke up. I thought I was on the phone to Curtis Jones. I literally had my hand to my ear and I was going, hello. Yeah, I was a bit out last week. I was a bit out.
Was it a case of you never talk alone? Was it?
Oh, love that.
I didn't know what the call was. I swore to God he rang me. I was like, hello, what do you want? Like I was his mum or something. Like, what do you want? And I thought, oh my God, I'm talking to myself. Oh dear. They're all laughing at me about that. Yeah, Mr. B's laughing at me. Jam's humming Billy Paul, me and Mrs. Jones. I think I'm old enough to be his mum, so yeah, it's not on that level. I think he's very Jones is talented, but ain't getting game time. Man UFC demonstrates far more opportunity for youth. Oh,
by how many players? Hold on a minute. Let's just work this out. So on Trent, you've got Joe Gomez, Harvey Elliott, you've got Curtis Jones. You know, that's 4 off the top of my head. Let's go over to Man United. McTominay, Greenwood,
Rashford.
Oh yeah, Rashford. Yeah, so that's 3. That's 3. Let's just. I'll wait.
Who they going to say? Zabi that they've sold. But yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Interesting.
So we've touched on Elliot, but let's go a bit more in depth with Elliot. Kop Kelly.
Oh. I'm really excited about a player.
So exciting.
I'm really excited about a player like that for a long time. Like I said, he's one of the most naturally gifted footballers I've seen wearing a Liverpool shirt for a long time, and that's a lot of praise to put on a player. He just doesn't look scared. He just like, give me the ball, let me do what I'm great at doing. He just doesn't look lost. Like I said in the first show, you just put him in there and he will just play football. He just loves to play football. He oozes class, he oozes skill, and he can just get better and better and just get more frightening. And he's going to scare the shit out.
I agree with that.
People talk about like Foden and Grealish. I think he's got that same kind of energy, that same no fear. Yeah. He runs down everything.
Technically, I think he's better than those two. Technically, I think he's better than those two. I think.
Well, Saint hit the nail on the head in the previous show I did. Why don't we treat these guys how Manchester City treat Foden? Yeah. Not too much expectation, gets a bit of game time, doesn't let him get too big ahead of the boots, pull him back out, keep him hungry and slowly bring them in. Because let's be honest, Phil Foden is one of the world's greatest talents at his age and his position. And I hate to say that because it's Man City, but you have to be honest, it's true. But what we've got in Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones is so exciting. What a time to be alive.
And they've got a perfect coach to slowly break them into that. You know, I know Klopp's going to take his time with them, and he will get the best out of them. I trust him more than any other coach with these 2 young players. Yeah. What do you think on Elliot Potsy?
To be honest, he reminds me a lot of when Sterling came through for us.
Oh, was that his debut? We lost 2-1 at home to Wigan. Gary Caldwell in front of the Kop. That was a long 5.5 hours home. Sorry, Potsy.
It was just more. Yeah, it was just more when Sterling started to play regularly under Rodgers, and he was just very direct with his running. And Elliot is the same. I think Elliot is more technically gifted than Sterling was at that age. And I think something he doesn't seem to get a lot of credit for as well. I mean, he was one of the assist leaders in the championship last season. Playing for Blackburn. The championship is a very, very tough league, especially for a young kid coming through.
That's right, Kop Kelly,
very evenly. Sorry, Kelly?
No. Just saying, Cot Kelly was right in what he was saying. But he shows a level of. He also shows a level of maturity. Instead of taking on 9 players, you'll find if he can't find the right ball, he'll put his foot on it, pivot, and lay it off. Not many people that age with that ability do that.
James,
No, exactly.
James, can I ask you something, mate? Do you think Klopp will play him against the bigger teams?
Depends on the situation. If it was me, I wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't start him against any of the big clubs. However, if it's, do you know what?
Super
It sounds, absolutely. If you take Salah off with, I don't know, which he's not going to take Salah off, but if Salah's ever injured, if you want to do a tactical surprise, put Harvey Elliott in his place. You'll scare the life out of Mendy.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's true.
Something to consider with that though is that when you think AFCON in January this year, AFCON starts on the 6th of January.
Is it only 2 games?
It depends obviously on how Egypt and Senegal get on, but the tournament starts on the 6th of January, which means I assume they're going to miss the New Year's Day game against Chelsea.
Well, Posse, you're in deep there. That's IQ straight to you. Fair play. You're in deep there, mate. Fair play.
Don't worry, trust me. This has been one of my biggest fears. This coming into this season. Like on paper during the tournament, we should get through the likes of Brentford and Burnley and Palace, I think, without Salah and Mane. But the games either side of the tournament, Chelsea and Leicester, could be a big opportunity for a player like Harvey Elliott.
Yeah. So true.
Think he's going to be our super sub. I think he's going to be one of those ones, like you said, with Foden. Like Klopp's not going to put him out into that situation where he's starting against, the big top 6 and put that pressure on him. Even though I don't think he would. I think he'd relish in it anyway. I don't think he would feel any fear or pressure from that.
He's so like us. He cuts in on his left. Oh, you just know that's some serious shit.
He's very mature, isn't he? So he plays it with his head up. He doesn't look down. He doesn't need to take a couple of touches. One touch and he knows where it's going. He's very naturally. He's got that natural football intelligence in him, and
he's right. The loan period out at Blackburn in the Championship has clearly supported his development as well. And maybe as a club, we've obviously seen how Blackburn have looked after one of our players in Harvey Elliott. Leighton Clarkson's gone out there alone this season as well, I believe.
I like him.
So you're right. So even if that's a partnership out there where we can see that we've got Blackburn supporting us to develop our players, and that can be a good thing for all of us. And I said it was interesting with the position Harvey Elliott has actually played with us. They said once again, I know it was in pre-season, but it showed his adaptability as well from being such a young player. He played more of an advanced role at Blackburn, much higher up. So even in our pre-seasons, he was playing more of the number 8, as we were saying with Shaqiri, had been playing more on the right-hand side. And I thought that was quite interesting in seeing him playing that position. As you said, he was comfortable. So it's good to obviously see that he's got that experience and belief in our coaching staff to actually play there.
And Klopp must, like you said, he must have checked out Blackburn's coaching staff and like the way they deal with him and stuff. And
how old is he?
To loan a player,
18, isn't he?
18.
Yeah.
To send a young player out on loan to the Championship, I think as well is a great experience for them. I think that's setting them up for the Premier.
Didn't it? Yeah, added a bit more steel to him, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Right, so we'll do a couple of comments and then we're going to move on to some other players. Find where we've got to. I think the last one was about me and Mrs. Jones. Oh gosh. Here we go. Jones is talented but ain't getting the game time. I know we had that one. We're not getting into that one. Nicola. Shaqiri's problem, I think, reported that Shaq had a medical condition. His hairline grew forward.
Wow.
He got hair plugs, He needed some time out for that. He checked Rooney's hairdresser. Hendo, Greenwood, McTominay, Lingard, Rashi, Pogba, homegrown and developed through our club.
Well, hold on. Pogba don't count, does it? He was ushered out before he really, got in. So that's one more player than I reeled off. Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you, Man United Agenda. Yeah, smash our likes and subscribe. Appreciate the love. Really great show. Big up the panel. Thank you, guys.
Cheers,
Thank you,
Monday.
Amanda.
Elliot is lacking the drive to be as effective as, say, Saka from Arsenal. We saw in the Euros how important that was with Foden.
So
I
is
don't
that a
think
wonderful comment and backed it up with that?
I don't think anybody has seen him in this. I don't know if any Man U fan has watched any of the Liverpool pre-season games in full force like we have. So I don't think anybody can really comment.
I would describe him as a pacey winger.
Yeah, I said
Just wait.
he wants that Salah spot, doesn't he? That's what he really does.
I honestly believe that when Milner leaves at the end of the season, he can get the number 7. I think Klopp will put that trust in him.
Yeah.
Very big call, Potsy. Very big.
It is a big call, but I think he will put that trust in him if he performs this season.
He really likes him, doesn't he? He talks a lot about him. And he really says how much he respects him and likes him, and he finds him exciting. And it's not often he kind of puts that much praise and spotlight onto a player, but he really does. Like Nicholas said, Elliot will come good. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and try and argue with you on Monday. You'll just have to wait and see. And we'll remember your comments. So after a few games you've seen him play, you come back and let us know if you've changed your mind, all right? Are they saying, I rate him, but he has to find his position and role? He said he's happy. He don't care where he plays. He'll play anywhere. Right now, that's what we like and that's what we need. In our team, not everybody has a specific role and position. We just kind of flow through games. I think coming from a defense point of view, if you've got Elliot, Bobby, Salah, Mane, you've got all these players driving, you don't know who's going forward, who's holding back. I think it's quite scary for defenders when you don't know which one's going to try and push through. And he's shown that in pre-season. Pogba doesn't count. He's trained at our club. And then you sold him. You went and trained somewhere else, and then you bought him back for a ridiculous amount of money.
Was it like he left on a free, and then like 5 years later they spent 100
Is
million?
history going to repeat itself at the Theatre of Dreams?
The funny thing is, he wasn't doing too well, was he, with the Man U coaching? And he seems to have had a really good summer school in France, and now he seems to have figured out, okay, this is how I play.
Yeah, the front, like we talk about Shaqiri Switzerland compared to Liverpool, Pogba France compared to Manchester United is a completely different animal.
He'll get a PSG for free next season as part of their project. I can't see him signing a new deal. I mean, Man United chuck money around like no one's business, but I don't think any amount of money in the world will keep him there. His agent's been saying now for 2 years he don't want to be there. It's quite evident. Yeah, he had a good opening day of the season. He did. Man United did look good. In all professionalistic respectability, they did look good. However,
you've seen my TikTok, mate. You know what I said?
He don't want to be there. I'm telling you now, he doesn't want to be there. He wants to be at PSG playing in the new Galacticos 2.0.
He's a very egotistical player, isn't he?
Most definitely.
Big ego player. And I think if Pogba's on it, then Man United are on it. If Pogba's, having
it's always been consistency.
Yeah.
Always been the issue.
Exactly.
That's all right, but they got Bruno, so everything's A-okay. In terms of attitude,
Bruno
good.
needs Pogba. Bruno needs Pogba to be on it to get his full potential out of it. So it's kind of like a little combination. But I want to see him with Sancho on as well. I don't know if they're going to start with them next game. But that would be an interesting combination. Last comment from Monday there. Elliot will get munched. I'm not even gonna. I mean, he's saying he agrees with you, Potsy. His best position being in midfield rather than inside forward. Listen, Klopp watches him train. Klopp's coaching him. Klopp knows what he can do and what he can't do. And we don't need to convince you, okay? We're convinced already ourselves. So we're happy with him. That's all you need to know. All right, last part of the show now, guys. Let's get on to... So I want to talk about Minimino and Keita. And where they're going to fit in. Obviously, Keita's previous injury is always a big question mark. So it's kind of like I've put these three at the end here, Oxlade, Minimino and Keita, because they're kind of a question mark, really. Ox and Keita with the injury issues and Minimino just, absolute star in pre-season, but where is he going to fit in? How are we going to bring them in? So I go to you, Stoney. Minimino and Keita.
Fitting them in, I think Keita will play in a number 8 position. If selected, I believe that he'll play in the number 8 position, and I believe that if Minamino's selected, he'll play if Bobby doesn't play. So I think that Minamino, if selected, will play more of an advanced role than Keita for this season. So I do believe both of them will feature. I do believe that role where Bobby is going to be a combination of, as you said, either Bobby, Minamino, or Ox, and Keita will play in the number 8 position in midfield. So I do believe they both feature completely different positions for this season.
Yeah. A lot of the games in pre-season, it seemed Minamino was kind of coming down the wing more than anything. What positionally, where do you think he fits best, Potsy, with Minamino?
It's a strange one, to be honest, because I don't think he's had enough game time since he's been a Liverpool player for us to really judge where he's going to be best to be. I think it's definitely in a more advanced role than midfield 3. I think he is another player that you could potentially look at being worked in the false 9 sort of role. He does have that ability. What I liked in pre-season was his forward runs as well, coming in from wide or through the middle. But the thing is, obviously, Klopp, the only way that Klopp would trust a player to do that would be a box-to-box like Hendo. When Hendo can do it, he can get in the box and he can get out. I don't think Minamino is good enough defensively to be in the midfield 3. So, yeah, I mean, it's really a case of, is he going to be third choice to Mane and Jota on the left, or is he going to be third choice to Firmino and Ox at false 9? Either way,
is my thinking. He can do the Mane role or the Bobby role. This is my thinking on him.
But he's just going to be third choice.
It's fine if he can rotate that. Like we said, rotation is everything. Sometimes we need subs to come on. If you're winning a game or someone that's a bit tired, they need a break. It's good to have those options.
And also as well, sorry, Jem. Sorry, I do apologise. I'll wait for you to finish. I'm sorry. So Potsy, you mentioned something that was really good and valid earlier. You were saying when the Nations Cup takes place, it may be as an example if Minamino is going to play more of as an advanced role, that he may well be slowly positioned to play where Mane plays, where Salah plays. So when they are away, that he may play more of those advanced roles as opposed to actually playing in a number 9. Because I just forgot, Jota could play centrally as well, can't he?
Yeah.
So you're right.
He didn't seem to like it on Saturday, but yeah, he can do it.
Yeah, so you're right. With the amount of cup games that we're going to have, with some of the players going over to the Nations, it may well open up more opportunities for Minamino to play anywhere along the top 3.
You know what, guys? Do you know what?
That's why I put Jota in this thing, because a lot of people always say, is it Bobby or Jota? But actually, he has played with Bobby on the pitch as well. And I think on the weekend, it wasn't necessarily as comfortable as I thought in that role. I quite like him in the midfield instead of being in Bobby's role. With Jota, I mean.
I definitely prefer Jota not playing in the Firmino role. To be honest, I mean, it could be because it was the first game of the season. And obviously Jota had been away with the Euros, so he sort of came back to pre-season quite later than Mane and Salah, who had been there the whole time. But the link-up play was just terrible between those front 3. You can see the difference between Mane, Firmino and Salah as a 3, then Jota playing in that middle. I much prefer Jota coming in off the left or playing just behind Firmino personally.
Yeah.
So you're talking about Minamino, right? I'll just chuck my 2 pence in on Minamino, right? £7.5 million. Okay. Red Bull Salzburg, rock up at Anfield. He rips us apart. I don't care what anybody said. He was sensational with Haaland and the other Japanese striker that they had up there, Chan, I think it is. Since he's been at Liverpool, it's similar to Keita. I've emotionally attached to him. I want him to do really, really well, but I can't help but feel it's not going to happen for him. Even with the title celebrations, you could just look, he's quiet. He seemed withdrawn from the rest of the squad. I think behind the scenes, he struggled to adapt to life in this country. I think he's finding it very, very difficult. And I really feel for him. I just don't... Where do you play him? Can you put him as part of that attacking sort of midfield three even? You know, if we're talking about putting Harvey Elliott there, well, let's look at it. You know, body types and like for like. There isn't too much difference between the two. In terms of an attacking, we've tried him in the Firmino role. It didn't work. We've tried him on the left. It didn't work. We tried him on the right in the league. It didn't work. He went to Southampton.
I mean, you say
know,
that. He went to
what do we do?
And then they've had this really long pre-season together, which, you know, he hasn't had with us before.
I want him to do well, but I can't.
He's had a full season and
play him in the Thiago role. That's what I would do.
That's what I'm saying. He could, because he can. The way he unlocked us at Anfield for Salzburg.
Technically, he's very good.
That's what I'm trying to say. I'm coming across as I'm a bit dismissive of him, but I'm not. I'm emotionally attached to him. I really want him to do well, but I'm struggling to find out where he fits and how he plays.
Yeah. Well, you know what, James? Even worst case scenario, worst case scenario. Okay, if we felt that this season, as an example, that he wasn't as productive or as effective as collectively Klopp or Liverpool would have liked him to be, and he was up for sale for next season, we would definitely get more than 7.5 if we had to sell him on. So I agree with you. The worst case scenario, if he was to leave, in terms of value, at least would still actually make profit on him, and that would be the worst case scenario.
No, Stoney.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to ask all of you guys out there: do you think he was brought in to raise our shirt sales in Asia?
I was thinking that KOP Kelly, KOP Kelly, and I don't want to play devil's advocate, but I think there's a lot to do with it. Junichi Inamoto was the trailblazer. Sun Ji Hai, another player as well. The only one in the Premier League that's done well, the only one I think has done really, really well was the Man United lad, which was Park Ji-sung. I thought he was good.
What about Son?
And Son.
Okay, but I'll take that. Someone's got to play well for Tottenham. So no, I think as far as I'm concerned, I like Minimino. I want him to do same as Keita. Nothing would please me more to say Minimino. Yeah, he got 4 goals and 9 assists this season. Played well in the cup games. Did well in Champions League. And Keita's the one though, because there was a massive financial outlay, and I think there's a lot hinging on that player. There's a lot to come from him. And he's running out of chances now, and I don't want to sound negative, but it's true. He is now starting to run out of chances because that contract's winding down.
Yeah, he's had a nice long pre-season. He's got the skills. We know what he can do. So let's just see. But what did you want to say on Minimino, Popsy?
No, it's just more to James's point. I'm probably in the same boat. I really do want it to work for him, but obviously it is a concern that his best performance at Anfield was in a Salzburg shirt. I think in terms of obviously adapting to, the country, if we are honest, he did sign for us just at the start of the COVID period. Adapting to a new country under a global pandemic where he hasn't obviously been able to go out and get to really know things. I think that will have an impact. I don't know how much the players can really hang out outside of the bubbles. Obviously, I think that's obviously been less restricted now, but obviously at the time, that was a big thing as well. So Minamino, like you say, James, bless him, he's been put in a bit of a really hard situation. But yeah, he is one of these players. I just don't know if it's going to work for him. Personally, to sort of James's point on Keita, and I'm going to throw the Ox in as well. I think this is their make or break season.
Definitely, especially the ages they're at now. This should be their prime now. So let's see what you got. But I think the main thing, like last season, in comparison, is that they've had a really long pre-season all together. I think the team spirit, they were in that camp for such a long time. I'm sure Minamino is going to feel a lot more comfortable in amongst the team this season. He looks it, he seems it. I think he definitely feels like one of the Liverpool players now, which he probably didn't before. So yeah, I'll pull this up again. We've discussed all of them now. So this is what we've got. What do we want? Because, I mean, you look at this and obviously, like we've said, Ox, Minamino, Keita, question marks. James and Elliott, they're still young. Jota can play in different roles. and then you got your 4 at the top. What do we need? What do we need to add to this midfield? It looks like, you know, people looking in would say, well, you don't need anyone. You've got all these players, but rotation, injuries, AFCON. Do we need to bring someone in? Is this
Definitely.
Yes.
Awar?
Definitely.
I think this Awar deal, if it does come through, Stoney doesn't like to do this. He doesn't like to
You know me already. I don't.
the rumors are Awar and Niguez, isn't it? And you know, we'll see. But the fact that, you know, we were trying to sell Shaq to Leon, that could be what it's coming to. But looking at those 10 players, I think we'll be all right.
I think I'll get rid of Origi personally. I think he's living now. He's a legend of the club, always will be for what he achieved. But I think, you know, he's now really riding the coattails probably of and that seems extremely harsh. But what's he done in the last 2 years, apart from score a wonderful goal against Everton? Was he actually offered the club?
Would you say
since then he's done nothing?
Would you say legend or cult hero?
Cult hero.
I would say cult hero.
I would say he's got a very, very high status at the football club and forever in our hearts. He's certainly in mine.
You would never have to buy a drink again in Liverpool.
No, but then let's get real.
Champions League without hearing Origi.
Exactly.
Well, and no one ever talks about it, but it was a handball in the build-up anyway.
Quickly is like everyone talks about Trent, but it was fucking Origi that got a wicked touch on it and got it in the goal.
He was the only player in that box concentrating.
Wow.
Exactly.
I just love the guy, but yeah, he's.
I would cash in now.
Yeah.
We need to upgrade on him.
I think
we need Doku. That's who we need. Is Doku young? He won't. You getting a player to this football club to play in that front 4 would be very difficult to convince an elite world class player because they won't play every week, and we can't afford one. Let's be honest, we can't afford it. So we need to look for a young player who we can develop. And for me, Doku is the man. According to all the Liverpool podcasts, the spaces on Twitter that I've been involved in, I can tell you now the overwhelming feeling of this fan base is that it's Doku. So I'm going to do a lot more research into him because I'm not convincingly up to date on him personally.
So we look to Fred at the Euros.
Well, one day, I don't know when, but one day we'll have a very special boy called Cade Gordon. And I think a lot of other fan bases need to check this guy out because they will fear him. I think he's only 16 now, but I think we do have some really good talent. I think there's at least 10 players in our youth squad.
The Polish kid,
right, and loaned out to good places like Elliot was. I think, you know, there is not necessarily we need to panic too much about filling those roles, but yeah, get some nice young blood in. Definitely Origi's. Bless him, I love him. You can't think about Champions League without thinking hearing that name being shouted out. But even in pre-season, I didn't see. I think he scored a penalty.
Missed it.
He didn't really make. Yeah, and he missed it.
The thing is, out of all the years that he's been at the club, you can only pinpoint those 2 things.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, though, like
when finish against Villarreal, I remember. I think always going to have a leg break and he squeezed it in.
When Klopp first came in, he was his main striker until he got injured.
That's right.
Like
he used to cut him from the left, didn't he? He used to cut him from the left and unleash a right pile driver into the far corner in front of the Kop. That was his go-to goal.
What about his,
the Everton goal?
His equaliser against West Brom that caused all the
Newcastle.
No, the one against West Brom at home that caused all the commotion with the and everyone was just having a go at us. But that's the way they do it in the Bundesliga.
Yeah. And from that day where we stood there and hold up our hands, everything just flew up and up. So they can't laugh at that no more.
But that's I mean, in terms of what you're saying about what we need in the midfield, there's 2 players I would love to see because they can cover the CDM role. Sal Niguez. One because he's a natural CDM, but he can also play box to box as well. So he's natural in both, and plus working under Simeone, you know, he's obviously going to be perfect fit for defensively. And also there's the CDM at Ajax called Edson Alvarez. He's 23, he's Mexican, and he's an absolute beast. And I think Klopp could work wonders. I think
he would be cheaper.
I think Klopp could work wonders with him.
He'd be cheaper. In terms of Saul, that at the moment doesn't look likely because of the wages that they're on. Atletico Madrid have one of the biggest wage expenditures in the world, as do we.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Do you know who I would bring in? There's 2 players I'd bring in. One of them would be Yuri Tielemans from Leicester. If we could make that deal happen, box-to-box midfielder, young,
That's
ambitious.
been a rumour as well, hasn't it? But it just
I think
it
that's
would
going to be an expensive one, though. That's the.
I think
We
you're
don't
looking
like
at 60.
spending money. We
Or
don't like
James
spending money.
Ward-Prowse. James Ward-Prowse. If you're getting Ings to Villa for 30 million, you could be looking around the same sort of price. Captain of Southampton, very, very young guy, experienced, wonderful dead ball specialist, offers an alternative to Trent Alexander-Arnold, and he's English for the homegrown tick box exercise that we need to do.
He's just signed a new contract with Southampton. So
right, well, we'll scrap that then. So, yeah, we'll get,
he's only just signed a contract today, yeah.
We definitely need a box-to-box. I think that's what we definitely need.
Yeah,
yeah. But, yeah.
Well, I've heard McTominay is one of the greatest prospects in world football, so we could go for him.
Any thoughts on that, Stoney? You just don't like to chat on things like this, do you?
No, you know me already. I like to listen.
We'll move on. Right, a couple more comments and then we'll wrap up, guys. Nicholas, was a great panel and topic tonight, guys. Thanks, Nicholas.
Cheers, Nick.
Thanks, Nicholas.
Paxton Road, nice shirt, Stoney.
Thank you, Spurs lot. Spurs gent.
Well, at least they're watching, though. Makes a change. I'm joking. Okay. Oh, hang on. Nice shirt. Let's go back to that. What shirts did you play in tonight, Paxton Road? Obviously, wasn't a winning shirt, was it?
Oh, crumbs.
And it was a qualifier game as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They'll use the excuse we didn't put out our best team. Well, I'm sorry, you're in the Conference League, it's a big tournament for you. So I think at the end of the day, you got to get it. It's no wonder Kane wants to leave. Just look at this. It's a mess. It's an absolute mess.
I mean, with Kane, I don't know why he wouldn't want to go and play, at behind an Estonian McDonald's somewhere. Like, Conference League offers. Like,
don't worry about the Bernabeu. It's fine.
Yeah, that's the dream.
Listen, I would play Paco de Ferrero Rocher or whatever they're called.
Just give Klopp 100 million and tell him to go and get Son. End of story.
I love Son. Absolutely love Son. I'd have him at Liverpool any day.
I would love him back.
Yeah, so I'd agree. I agree with that, actually. Very good point.
Leave him where he is. Right. On Monday, Minimino has to play in the front three. Very clever player, deserves an opportunity. Yeah, he does. He's done a good pre-season. I just think squad rotation, switching up tactics, we could make a good few combinations with those 10 midfielders. You've got great options for different games, different styles, different, are we playing a top 6, a Champions League game, a League Cup, or FA Cup? But we've got some good options in there. And he did play good in the Mane role as well.
Yeah.
Love how Keita plays with his head up. I love him. We love him too on Monday. We really, really do. He's absolute legend. I just hope that this nice long break he's had, the nice long pre-season, he played great on the weekend as well, didn't he?
He can't spend any more time at home, can he? He's probably done his house up 3 times.
He must be the weakest African player that I've ever known. they usually run right around everyone, but I don't get it.
They are like peak specimen fitness players, aren't they? Usually, when you find out, fantastic, I'll have him in my midfield, 100%. Yeah,
you're so right, James.
Just completely left him out, and he's like, you know what? Just go, take your time. We're not bringing you back in. We're gonna give you a good long rest. Like, no matter how much we needed someone to come in, we're not bringing you in because it's just taking 2 steps back. But I love him. Like, make or break season now.
Yeah,
come on, Nabby.
Nabby lad.
Nabby lad.
I love him and Mane. They're so cute. I like little bros, isn't it? Okay, Nicholas. I do think Minimino would do well in the 10 role, but feel he would need support due to his size. He's bulked up a bit though. He has bulked up.
He's got his new beard, Gems. He's gone back to Japan and said, "Look, I've been heavily influenced by the English culture," and he's come back with his new beard. He looks a changed man. But did you know in Japan, this is one of the most famous men in his country. He is the Beckham of Japan. He is massive.
Wow.
He's one of the richest players you will find. I can guarantee you that without even researching it. I'll tell you that now. He'll have a lot of money.
He's going to get subbed on for a few games, I think. I'm not sure how many he'll start, but I think he will be used as a sub. And yeah, he is bulking out. And I think Amundi would agree. He's had some of those German vitamin pills. Whatever he likes to say, we give them. No, he's
I
just
like
been,
the guy. You know,
he's
I
been
do.
the regime. The
We
hard,
all want
hard
it to work for
regime.
him. That's the
Yeah,
that's-
yeah.
Absolutely.
Even Konate, look how big he is. He was saying
Yo.
that first week of pre-season.
Frightening.
I am worried,
said he
like
was
with Canate.
struggling.
You just
Konate
worry
said,
he's going to snap his leg or something.
I'm
Do you know
just
what I
like,
mean?
it's just like we've seemed to have this relationship with the RB group, and like we get Minimino, who hasn't really been able to kick on. We get Keita, who's just injury prone. Like, I'm just really worried. Like, the people speaking because of the relationship we got with them. Jesse March is going to be the next guy after Klopp. He's probably going to get injured on the touchline managing the team. Like,
Yeah.
I think
Could
we
be
need
third
to.
time lucky, Potsy. Could be third time lucky.
That's the dream. Because Konate, if he comes good, oh, he's
Can you imagine
Yeah.
just
hell of a player.
FA Cup? You just go with him and Gomez, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go with. I love Nat Phillips.
So we're gonna have a Burnley pre-match, aren't we? Discussion. I'm looking forward to that, especially the centre-back options. Even just being able to say like centre-back options with a smile is so nice. Last season it was like, oh, who the fuck are we gonna play at centre-back today? Like,
I think we were going to get the call at one point. I think,
Joel Matip look, eh? How good does Joel Matip look?
I love Matip.
I love his expressions as he plays a pass and it goes wrong and he just goes like,
he's got
just brilliant. It's
an account dedicated to his facial expressions. And
No context, Joel
I'll let
Matip
you
or
know.
something like that. No context, Matip, I think.
I'll have to do that. Yeah,
it's just
like,
pure.
He's another player.
Him and his lovely little face.
It's like watching, like, similar to Saka when you watch him try and run with a ball, you don't know what's going to happen, but he's amazing. Like, if you actually got someone put like on Twitter like a compilation of him just running through people's defenses like they're not even there.
Yeah.
He's ridiculous.
Gets to the edge of the box and he looks left every time. Watching Nick Timmy plays, he takes on about 4 players. He's going on thinking, and literally he just looks left every time and just lays it off and then goes back like this, just runs back like that into his position. I love the guy. I love this club. I love the fans. I love everyone. I love this club.
He shouldn't be able to do what he does with the ball at his feet. He just
all our defenders like to push up. I love it. Yeah. Klopp's just like attack.
I can't wait to see Konate just bulldoze. He's not even going to use skill. He's just going to bulldoze through them.
I can't wait till he knocks half the Man United players off the pitch
with his shoulder.
Boys. Yeah.
What the point I was making anyway, originally getting onto Konate, was the first week of pre-season. They asked him how he was doing, and he said he was absolutely knackered. And when he was going to bed, he was falling asleep straight away. I think if our training regime can make that guy feel tired, then surely Minimino is benefiting from that regime bulking up. Do you know what I mean? If we can knacker out Konate, then.
Have you seen the picture of him and Robbo wearing the same size dressing gown?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hilarious.
It is absolutely hilarious.
I'll find it. I'll put it up on our pre-match. I'll find that one. It's hilarious.
It's good that they're involving him early on into the team and the integration, and we know that chemistry is extremely important. Konate, look, what's all this on his Twitter though? Am I the only fan to see this? Is anime? What does this even mean? I'm looking at it. Is he involved? Is he a board director at Konami? Is he involved somewhere? What's the deal with it?
Anime. He just loves anime.
Okay.
He's still
he can love anything he likes as long as he keeps a clean sheet. I've got no issue.
Cool. All right, then we're gonna leave it there, and then we're gonna come back on Saturday to do a pre-match show before we burn up Burnley. I know we're gonna win that game. I'm just excited to see it. I just want to see who's gonna do the lighting.
That's the first home game, mate. First home game. Come on, Tom.
Yes.
Oh, it's going to be loud. It's going to be live.
Mane hat-trick. He loves the crowd.
Yeah. It does. It does, doesn't it?
We're owed, aren't we, by the league? We're owed. We never had our opportunity with the fans with that trophy, and that hurts me. And I think it's not quite finished, is it? Yeah.
It was painful, but we had the Champions League, so it wasn't as painful. If we hadn't had the Champions League, then that would have hurt even more. But it was.
Could I say one final thing, Gems, if that's okay before we go?
No. I'm joking.
Okay. You embarrassed me. No, I'm joking. Basically,
Go on, James.
and the only thing I got to say is, basically, if anybody does get, the opportunity to pop over and have a look at our podcast, I'll be truly grateful.
Yes.
We just did one on PSG, and is this team the new Galacticos, which is a lovely 20-minute listen on your way to work or something like that. But thank you for having me on your show, and I love doing this because you guys are great.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
We
James
appreciate
from
that.
TTM SPORTS, so their radio show. I was on there as well, Froome FM.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
They do podcasts as well. You can find them on Twitter. If you check out FTB's Twitter, they're all amongst on our profile and everything.
Yeah, we've got a shirt giveaway as well. We've got a shirt giveaway, so we're closing in on 1,000 followers. As soon as that comes out, we have a shirt. It's from the Far East. There is a picture of the shirt on there. We've changed the color of it and blacked it out a bit, but that shirt will be sent to the winner of the 1,000th follower. So yeah, get stuck in.
Brilliant. All the details are in the description anyway. So yeah. So
perfect.
Potsy, where can we find you? Let everyone know. I think we know it.
Yes. So
what is Stoney doing?
I don't know what he's.
Do you want some attention, Stoney?
No, I've got this little flying around trying to play off the screen. That's what it is.
I thought you were testing your mic. I thought you were going to go for another hour.
I thought you were saying, don't go to TTM Sports. How dare you?
I thought you were doing the cobwebs off of our midfield there, Tony.
Right, go on, Potsy.
Yes, so on Saturday, obviously, we'll be doing hopefully the pre-match and post-match with you guys on KOP TALK. And in the middle, I'll be doing a live watch-along on my TikTok, Potsy Talks Footy. So get yourselves across, have a chat. Let's obviously watch the Reds get revenge on Burnley, and Ashley Barnes get absolutely smashed by Kanate.
Yes. Potsy, leave your details in the comments. I'll get them all up on the description next time, but me and you are definitely back Saturday. Cop Kelly, we find you on here. Primary school legend with Stoney.
Yes.
There you go.
Our two brilliant Cop panelists. Last few comments. So on Monday, is it okay to actually say I like you guys? Everybody.
Of course it is.
So
Thank you, Monday.
Thank you, Monday. Hope I see you on Saturday as well, mate.
Yeah, definitely.
I prefer to say that you love us because we're lovable. Ola Quinley, great show. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your support and watching. Monday, take a bow, guys. Go on, everyone take a bow. You can't see me, but I am doing it.
Do the Joe Matip hands. I'll do the Joe Matip hands to celebrate.
Nice.
Nicholas, Minimino is clean shaven and training on Tuesday. Okay.
So he's lost his powers now.
Let's hope he's sharpened up his game as well. He must have heard you, James, keep talking about it.
I just think he's a Man United fan. He knows that I know that he knows that I know he's a Man United fan, and I think it's a wonderful professional banter.
No, that was Nicholas.
That was our
one. That was Nicholas.
It's late, man. I got work in 6 hours. Yeah,
we're gonna wrap it up. Stoney's brother, Mr. B.
That's cool.
Thank you for watching, Mr. B. Nicholas, Stoney, you cracked me up blowing everything.
It is, I think it was Nicholas. I think the gents from the Man United agenda sent a little bug into my home to try and mess with the show.
Just because they're around, innit? The flies start
I
to
think
fill
so.
Out. That's what it is. Yeah, Mr. B, come on, Burnley, dream on. Laugh out loud, Stoney. Yeah, everyone's laughing. All right then. Well, thank you very much, guys. I really enjoyed today.
Brilliant.
It's great to have you back on here as well, James.
Love you all. Yeah, we will be back Saturday. Burn up Burnley. Watch. You heard it here first.
Get better soon, James.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'll be back.
She's like our midfield last season. She's working half energy, half power, half fitness.
That's
done a brilliant job. Done a much better job than the midfield last season, though.
Very good.
I'm fucking Nate Phillips. I am. You see?
Mr. Reliable.
Thank you, boys. Right, we will see you Saturday. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.